Test is Friday. All right, I'm going to get going. Graph this equation. So I'm just going to leave this totally up to you. One thing you need to be able to graph. I wouldn't don't start putting an x and a y axis yet. You need a lot more information. Write down all the information you need. Graph it very, very last, the last point. Okay. So you tell me what are some things. Throw out some things I'm going to need to graph here. Okay. Any passer? Okay. We'll talk later. 7. What's that? Okay. I need max and the min. Absolutely. Max and the min. Somebody want to help me find max and the min here? And you can get it right off the equation. We're at this point now in the unit. Hopefully we get it right off the equation. No fancy formula for the max and the min. 13, want to help me on the max and the min? Okay, ready? Before I go ahead, just say, go ahead, what was it? You tell me, Mary, what do you want to do? You explain it to me. What do you want to do, max or min first? Max? Okay, what was the old max? And then what did I do to it? What's the new max? Okay. New min, what was the old min? And then I moved it up to, what's the new min? Negative. Thanks. Okay, need the max and the min. There's a couple other things I'm going to need for this one. 13 again, Mary. What else do I need? Because you got to where I understand where it goes on the y and on the y-axis up and down too, but now I got to figure out what other axis. Yeah, I got to figure out what my x-axis looks like. And you said, I think you just said it before, period. I need the period to get to the key values. Formula for period we've been using all unit. Here we go. Mary, just pick a number 1 through, oh, never mind, 3. Period formula. Thank you. 2 pi over b. Somebody plug in for the b value for me. What is the b value off the equation? 15? 1/2. Nice job. Skip and flip. Period should have been 4 pi. Where's that going to go on my graph? The end. That is the last value, correct? The last tick mark on there is 4 pi. All right, so what are we going to go by then? Key values. I'm going to take 4 pi and do what with it? You're up 5. Take 4 pi and
divide by 4.
Thank you. So pi, that's going to be my what? What I'm going by, and also what else is pi? First tick mark. First one, second one. Guys, I'm asking you to do 2 in between. That's it. First one is pi, last one's 4 pi. You got to find the 2 in between. Set up your x and y now if you have it. Four pi at the end, pi at the beginning. How about the 2 in between now? Remember, you're going by pi's now. Going by pi's. 4, going by pi's. What's next? 2 pi, 3 pi. We already said 5 and 1 are our max and our 5 and -1, so they have to be on the graph somewhere. And there's probably going to be one more that's got to be on there too. Okay, everyone all right with the setup? I know we put in a lot of work. Now, hopefully we put in this work to make things a lot easier. Cosine curve. Start thinking about the cosine curve. 15, where does it start? Cosine curve, where does it start? Usually at its max. Look at the equation. Ashley, want to tell me anything about this one in particular? Why? Thank you. So where am I going? I'm not going to start this one at 5. I'll start it at, there you go. Everyone all right with why we're starting it at -1? Okay. Ashley said max, starts at its max, then travels down to where after the max? Let's roll 1, 0. But I have what going on here? So where's my actual 0 or my midline here? At 2. Do I have to ask, are we comfortable where it goes from here? 5, 2, -1. Any issues, guys? We all good? Just wanted to review that again. I will never ask you to graph something with the phase shift, what we did yesterday in class, moving it right to left. Never. It's a lot more complicated because it affects everything you do on the x-axis now. Okay, because you wouldn't have points at these anymore. It'd be moved over however many units. So we're not going to ask you that. Any questions from you guys? Last 2 days here, today and tomorrow, of this unit, we have some word problems, unfortunately, to do. I know they're not everyone's favorites, but good news, I still need to find an A, a B, and a C value. It's just I don't come out and say this is the period, this is the A value. You guys got to read through the word problem and figure it out on our own. If there's any good thing about it, at least it's a good story, some of these word problems. All right, it's a good story. Casey, what page are we on there? 32, everybody, 32. The formulas I've given you for A and C. What's up, Alex? Just the numbers I gave you when you came in. Okay, just stick with those for now. You didn't get one. Maybe that's, what do we have an issue with, 5?
Oh, I said 5 and 4. I'm number 4, but nobody answered for 5.
We good? Okay, so settle down when 5 comes up. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Hopefully.
Okay. What? We good? All right. Formulas stay the same. A is max minus min over 2. C is still going to be max plus min over 2. All right. Everything's staying the same. We just got to figure out these word problems are going to give us numbers. And we got to figure out what they represent as far as period, amplitude, frequency. All right. All right. So we're going to Poughkeepsie here first. Looks like we're occurring during the winter solstice, if anybody was worried about that. Minimum hours of daylight is 9 hours. Maximum hours of daylight is 15. Go figure. What's the equation's amplitude? Okay, so how do you find it? We've been finding this all throughout this unit. Amplitude. How do I find amplitude? I know it's the number out in front, but I have no number out in front here. There's no equation. Here you go, 7. Amplitude formula. Good job. And I think it's just what numbers you're going to plug in for the max and the min here. 5, max and min. There we go. Yep. So this amplitude going to be 3. Is that bad? The only issue is going to be figuring out the numbers they give you. What's it represent? What's it represent? Questions? All right, not too bad. Graphing one. Get ready for this one. There's going to be a lot of high tide, low tides, and a lot of Ferris wheels. Okay, a lot of high tide and low tide because we go max and min, and a lot of Ferris wheels because we go max and min. Okay, so be ready for a lot of those word problems. This one's a high tide, low tide problem, represented by a cosine curve. All right, I give you guys a couple numbers in here. Maximum depth is 36, minimum is 22. And whoa, hey, high tide is hit every 12 hours. So let's talk about the 12 and something we've already discussed here. Where would the 12 fit in? Every 12 hours, I hit high tide. High tide, 12 hours, high tide. High tide, 12 hours. What's that 12 hours here, Ashley? Not the first. Not the first. Every 12 hours. So the 12 is the period. Yes, that's all I wanted for right now. Yes. The 12 is telling you that's the period. That's when it starts repeating. Yes, Art. Period is how long it takes to make this cosine curve. So when I set up this graph right now, when I end at 12 somewhere on the x-axis, I will see one cosine curve. The frequency is how many curves you see if you graph from 0 to 2 pi. Okay? That's what frequency is. Okay? Think about it this way. Period is how long it takes. Frequency is how many I see. Good? All right, good question. Part A asks us to graph first. I don't know how comfortable, I never feel comfortable graphing first. What do we always like to do first? Find all the numbers I need, right? Find all the numbers I need. In this case, A, B, and C. All right, so let's start with A. Anybody, how can I find the A value here? You're up, A value. Go ahead, what's the max and the min? 36 minus 22 all over 2. What do we got there for the A value? 7. I always like to, I don't know, you want to just jump right into B or can I go to C? I always like to do A and C because they're pretty similar. C value, what are you calculating there to find the C value? Your shift, your midline. 7, what am I calculating here? 36 plus 22 divided by 2. Nope. 29. And B value. What formula do I use to find the B value? Here we go, 12. Good, there you go. You sound like you're in like a spelling bee there. P equals 2 pi, what's the period, Art? What do we pull off the 12? So 12 equals 2 pi over B. Now I have to ask this because I know we were struggling with this. Can we solve this? We comfortable solving this? Because I know we were struggling with it. Okay, lowest terms for me on this one. I'll challenge you. Lowest terms. $16 lowest terms. Pi over 6. I know it didn't ask, but I'm going to ask it. Write the equation now of this curve. Y equals, you guys finish it now that I know all 3 values. 14.
Y equals 7. I can tell if it's
Yep, go back up to the beginning, Olivia. Go back up to the beginning. They put it in there for you already. At the top of the problem.
Cosine.
Yep, cosine.
Pi over 6.
Yep,
X.
got it.
Is that it? Oh, plus 29.
Here we go. Good. Now that looks pretty intimidating, doesn't it? That equation. Big deal. Big deal. You already know what do you already know what the max and the min are? And you already know what the shift is. Okay. So the only thing you need to help me with is how to set up the x-axis. What do I look at to go by to set up the x-axis? I look at the period, everyone. What was the period? 12, that's what it ends at. How do I figure out what do I go by? What do I do with that 12? 4, what do I do with that 12? Divide by 4, so everything's going to go by what? 3s, yep. 1, 2. End at 12. Oh, son of a gun. Anybody? Mary? How many? 2 cycles. I don't know, could I fit more on there? I don't know. Part A. Label the points, on this axis. Sketch and graph this scenario for 2 full periods. What's after 12? If I kept going one more. 15, yep, just keep going by 3s. 15, yeah, I can do it, thank you. 21, anything past 24? Nope. Y-axis, you got to figure that out, because what has to go on your y-axis? 36 and 22, right? Somewhere there has to be 36 and 22, and probably 29, because that's going to be the shift with the zeros. So you guys determine what you want to go by. I don't know, how many do I have up here? Yeah, we can go by 2s, I think. It'll fit. All right, who gets the pleasure of graphing it with me? 1. Here we go, stud. Cosine curve. Tell me what to do first. So up to 36. I got to graph that. There we go. Okay, so I'm starting it at 36. Now where? 29, that's usually a 0, but with a shift to 29, I go up to 29, which would be halfway in between those two. All right, still listening. Max, 0, then where's the cosine curve go? Min, what's the min? It's in the problem. 22. All right, I'm at the min. Where now? 29, yep. All right, where's the cosine curve finish? Which in this case is, okay. And there's 1 period. Now I do 1 more. Okay. Anything from you guys? High tide, low tide? Good. Yo-yo. I guess we can do a yo-yo too, right? Starts up here, down, come back up. Max, min, back up to the max. Cosine curve, right? Anybody yo-yo aficionados here? Yeah, I'm sure.
No, I used to have some trips, like walking the dog, diving tower, around the world.
Is that legit, Ben? Just regular up and down, or is this like going back and forth? Okay. Not just a yo-yo?
Or can you actually yo-yo?
You can do both the yo and the
Okay. All right. I'll just stop this here. Okay. Do you know there's world championships? We looked it up one year. Yeah. So maybe we'll look it up tomorrow.
That's a good idea.
I'll bring you my yo-yo.
Live performance.
Yep. Determine the max and the min heights. Max and the min heights. Now you have the equation now. Max and the min heights. Okay, so use the equation right now. Here you go. 8, use the equation. Max first. It was what? And then I shifted it up. So I'm going to take 1.75, move it up 2.25, and what do you got for me? 4? And somebody help me with the minimum height of the yo-yo. 3, what was the minimum height? Yeah, I can't have that, so we shifted it. You got it. So what's my minimum now? Good. What am I asking for in part B? How much time does it take for the yo-yo to return to the maximum height? So it's here, boom, up to back to the maximum. This is a fancy way of me saying, guys, find the what? Period. That's all it's asking for. That's a fancy way. And that was the goal of today, for you guys to recognize without seeing the actual word there. That's what I'm asking for. Okay. 10, formula for period. What is the B value from the equation, Ben? Ooh, yeah.
oh, pi.
Just pi, yep. It's pi. So what is the period, Ben? How long is it going to take to return? 2, and then what are we in here? Seconds, so 2 seconds. Good. Okay, anything from you? I'm going to do one of the homework problems with you. Anything from you guys right now? Okay, I'm going to do number 4 with you. That you have tonight, number 4. Because this is going to use your graphing calculator at the end. Temperature again, huh? All right, it's asking us to graph this for one day, one curve, one day. Okay, I'm just leaving it up to you. Pull anything you want out of it out right now. That curve, what do you want to tell me about it? 15, we're about to graph it. What's your first move? Okay, it's a cosine curve. Thank you for just double checking that. All right, next. It's going to be a cosine curve, so I'm thinking about the cosine curve. What other values do I need to start picking off here to graph it? Okay. A is 11. Pi over 12. 71. All right. Now I got to go to the graph though. So I'm still looking for values to graph because none of those values, they will help me, but I won't be plotting 11, maybe 71, but that's about it. Find the period. All right, let's start with that. I like it. 2 pi over b. You already told us what was the b value there, Ashley? Pi over 12. Flip that and multiply. What am I looking at for the period? 24. So that tells me when I do my tick marks here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 24 is going to be the last one. Yes. All right, going to somebody else. Thanks, Ashley. 8. What else do you want me to do here? Your call. Find the max and the min. You got it. What was the previous max? And then I did what? So my new max, 82. What was the old min? Added 71. What's the new min? 60. So you guys decide what you want to go by on your y-axis right now, but you have to have 60, 82, and probably the shift, which was 71 somewhere on that graph. Okay? Everyone see, hey, I haven't talked about this yet, and you've probably seen this before. What's this little bad boy? That's a break, which means you don't have to start at 0. All right? If you wanted to start at 60, you could start at 60. All right, it's up to you. The break in there says you don't have to start at 0. You can start whatever you want, but go by the same amounts. What are you guys doing here? I don't want to do my own thing. I want to listen to you guys and copy off you. What are you starting at? What are you going by? You're starting at 60? Sure. And what are you going by? I at least got to go to 82. What are you going by? 4s. Okay. 2s? 10s? Absolutely not. Okay, I'm going to go by 2s because I got to go up to 82, right? 68, 70. What's the C value? 71, we're good. 72, 74, 76, 78, 80. I think we're good. What did I do? Okay. Yeah, yeah, great. All right, somebody's gonna, whoop, I still don't have an x-axis. I don't have an x-axis yet. 6, x-axis.
You're gonna go
By what? You are correct, but how? Well, how'd you know that?
because 24 divided by 4 is 6. But then don't you need to do, for the first one, don't you need to do the b value? Or, never mind.
You're going by 6s. You're good.
Okay.
6, 12, 18. All right, here we go. Here you go, 2. You get the privilege of graphing it with me. First point. Bless you.
Bless you.
My first point on the cosine curve. Who did I give 2 to as they came in? Nick, wasn't that you? I believe so, yes. Cosine curve. What's the first point? Got it. Max, where to now? Yep, you're graphing this whole thing with me. I'm at the max now. Now where do I go? Usually it's the 0, right?
I'm doing the math.
Wait, 71. So I'm at max, 0, now where?
62 or 60.
60. All right, now I'm going to start repeating. So now where? I'm at the minimum, now where? Back to 71, and where's the finisher? Yep, which was 82. Nice. All good, because now we're going to use the calcs. Any questions on A, sketching the graph? All right, read part B now. From 0 to 24, which is what we graphed on the x-axis, from 0 to 24, already graphed. Determine all the points that are equal to 75 degrees. Okay, 75. So basically, here's what I'm asking for on the graph. You got 72, 74, 75. So it hits 75 here and here. What are those x coordinates on the graph? Everyone's all right with what I'm asking for. Where does it hit 75 degrees? We're going to let the calculator do the work, because you guys have done probably in the past Algebra 1 intersection before. On your you graph two graphs and you want to know where they intersect. We've done that before. Okay, so the first thing is go ahead and we're going to have to graph this bad boy. And this is the first time I'm introducing how to use the graphing calculator to do it. And the reason why is it's complicated to use the graphing calculator. First thing is you need to be in radians. So make sure you're in radian mode. So everyone make sure if you ever want to graph a sine or a cosine curve, you got to be in radian mode. All right. Next thing, y equals. Go ahead and type that equation as is right in. Do not hit graph though, because it's going to look crazy. So 11 cosine fraction template if you have one. If not, more parentheses. Pi over 12. And it says t, but we use what instead on the graphing calculator? X. Close it up, and then plus 71. Don't hit graph yet, though. Everyone typed in? All right, I don't want to go too fast. All right, your calculator is designed to go by a 10 by 10 grid. Did we go 10 by 10 here? Absolutely not, so we're not going to see hardly any of it. So what we need to do is change our window so it looks like our graph right now. So everyone go to window, and we can't go 10 by 10 anymore. On the x-axis, what's our minimum value? Look at your graph right now. What's the minimum value on your x-axis? No. X-axis. X-axis. 0, right? It's 0. So we're going to do 0 for the minimum. And what do we go up to as on the max for the x? Okay, so tell it. Go to 0 to 24 on the x-axis. We all good? No issues? Okay, we can go by ones if you wanted to change that because we went by sixes. That's fine. Leave it as going by ones. Y minimum. What was our minimum? What was our minimum here? 60. And what was our max? What was it? Okay. 82. Everybody good? So I'm just telling it, I'm setting the calculator up to look like our graph. Any issues on the max? Max I pulled right off the x-axis, and the y's I pulled right off your y-axis. So let's see this bad boy. Ooh, it looks beautiful, right? Looks like our curve. Now I'm looking for where it hits where? 75. So I need to graph one more line in, and that is y equals 75. So y2 equals 75. So I need to know those intersection points. Anybody Algebra 1 studs in here? Remember, where do I go on the calculator to find it? Hi, Maddie. Second trace, where it says calculate, second trace, and then guess which one I'm looking for? Intersect, number 5, and then hopefully that spider's jumping up on your screen somewhere. Everyone see the spider? You want to have it come as close as possible, if not on one of the points of intersection. This is slow. Oh, we got it. See where it says first curve now? Enter. Second curve, enter. And then after it says guess, enter. All right, and then there's our first x value, and I believe I gave you rounding directions, right? Nearest 10th of an hour, so it's going to take 4.6 hours. And that's not the only place, right? You got to go through the whole, don't move your spider, you got to go through the whole thing again. Second, count, intersect, and then move it over to the other spot now. I got too carried away. You guys can go ahead of me. I'm getting there. Also 19.4 hours. All right. So if you ever want to graph a sine or cosine, I don't recommend it unless it's specifically asked, but you do have to be in radian mode. And make sure your x-axis and y-axis match your window. Okay? All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to start on the review. All right, go to the review, please. What's that? Yes, all right, you can go back to your 10 by 10 that you originally had. Yes, you go to zoom, and then you should have number 6, which is standard. So that'll get you back to your standard 10 by 10 grid every time. Okay, or worst comes to worst, you can clear your memory. And it'll go back. Okay, so we should be on page 40, answering as many questions as we can up to the bell here.